Hello, this is Kim from Abundant Life Tarot, and I am so excited. So excited. Okay, so we are starting the weekly, sorry, I just need to adjust that a little bit. The weekly general readings. So each week I'm going to vlog on YouTube and blog on my site, abundantlifetarot.com, either an oracle reading or a tarot reading or a combination of both reading, just depending on how I'm feeling and depending what decks I'm called to use for the general reading. And the same will go for the personal readings that will follow. I will just go with what decks I'm called to use to answer the questions. So I am so excited to get started with the reading. And most times the reading will be where it's turned this, where we're looking down at the cards versus just this, us talking like this. And I hope you don't mind that. I just thought it's not necessary to look at me. It's more fun to look at the cards. So that's my thinking behind that. But of course, you can let me know if you prefer a different format for the weekly reading. So without going much further with the intro, let's get started on the weekly reading. All right, so let's get started. I am feeling mostly in the mood for an oracle reading. So first up will be the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, and then we'll be working with maybe one or two cards, preferably just one card from the Heal Yourself reading cards, and a shadow card for us to work on this week as well. And you know what? I might even throw in a Doreen Virtue Abundant, Angels of Abundance Oracle card, way that we can infuse some abundant thinking into our life this week as well. We'll see if I'm called to do tarot. If I am called to do it, I will use the Tarot of the Ages. I may also just use it for clarification for what comes up in the Oracle. So let's get started. Now, I want to say thanks you all for watching. It's so much fun doing these videos, and that there's actually folks watching and being so kind and supportive. So I really appreciate that. So thank you. All right. And with that said, Spirit, we just thank you. We come to you for guidance on how we can have our best week yet. And so what we would like to look at in a 9-card spread with the Mildred Payne is the following. What do we need to confront? How do we confront it? And what is the outcome once we have confronted what we need to next week? Jumping cards would be preferable as the method to speaking with me about this. Yeah, after a 9-card Mildred Payne spread, I may not need to do much else but a couple of oracle cards. They are so surprisingly deep. I don't even understand it, but it's like magic. Oh. Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys. I'm just shuffling away. All quiet. I'm just focusing while I'm shuffling. Okay. And so what we'll do is we'll do our first impressions. I'll even let you guys have a moment to have your own first impressions as you look at the card. And then we'll look at the meanings that come with the Mildred Payne deck. Love this deck. Okay. First card that comes up is water. And remember, the first question or first row is dealing with what do we want to confront this week in order to have a better, a great week, an enlightened week. And so the water card comes up. Then we have the crow. Then we have the rat who's looking at the crow. Then we'll look at the other rows in just a moment. But what do we need to confront? When I see, sorry for the glare. When I see water, this could symbolize emotions. Are our emotions in balance, or are they all over the place and out of whack? Also, do we feel like we are drowning, or do we feel like we're floating by in life? Water reminds us of the connection that we have to one another in terms of the emotional connection, but also in terms of the actual physical connection, which is that the earth is 70%, approximately 70% water. Our bodies are approximately 70% water. There's no coincidences in the creation, that is. So take a look at this week as far as like, are you overreacting to things that come up? Are your emotions out of balance? Are they swaying with outside influences too much so that you don't know whether you're coming or going? Or is it the opposite, where you finally have conquered that emotional swaying back and forth and going whether and way, depending on who you're around and or whatnot, or where you're at. If you have your emotions in check, celebrate that. This is the card to say, hey, yeah, celebrate when you're going with the flow on water in your emotions, versus and also recognize the time when you are drowning, when you need to send off for a life jacket because you are drowning in your emotions. And then we can just take a quick look at number 18. Okay. Water, purity, change, life, subconscious thoughts, mysterious feelings. So yeah, and change is always good. So if you notice that your thoughts are all over the place, right? Well, what's a way to change that? Well, purity, they also mention in the guide. Well, meditation could help with that, right? That could help with stemming your thoughts, because here's the thing. Time and time again, we're hearing about evidence of your thoughts becoming things, your emotions directing your thoughts, right? So if you want a certain outcome in your life, you're going to have to find that balance and be able to go with the flow of things. Next up is the crow. With the crow, what do we need to confront? I'm going to just go ahead and, because I don't know much about crow energy, and I'm just kind of curious here. 49. Omen of bad news. Moving from place to place. Criminal activity. So what do we need to confront this week? Well, maybe this is on the micro scale of us, each of us. Maybe we'll be dealing with something along those lines with the crow. Constantly traveling place to place, constantly in motion, not settled. Maybe some of us will be receiving some bad news, but it's all in how, again, your emotions, you could get the most ultimate bad news. And I'm not saying this as a Pollyanna answer. I have seen some things in my life and witnessed some things that were horrendous. But that's not to say that I had to succumb to my emotions and drown. If I get bad news, I recognize for what it is, and then we find a way to focus on solutions rather than wallowing in emotions over and over again and staying in a stagnant place. So with a crow, you could take it as fine. If it is bad news, well, how can I fly like the crow over this and be able to get through whatever is coming at me? If there's anything at all. I mean, it says here, moving from place to place of criminal activity. Well, maybe not you doing the criminal activity, but maybe someone around you. Maybe a politician. I don't know. Maybe a local principal. Maybe your boyfriend. Maybe your wife. Maybe yourself. Or it could just be that there's some transgressions going on. Someone who's stealing energy and thoughts from someone else. I don't know. That's what comes up for me with that. And then finally, the last thing we need to confront this week is rat. Now, you could take it for the literal situation, right? Well, maybe you're dealing with some backstabbing rats at your job who have to always go and tell the boss something. Or maybe, let's see, 35, because this is, oh yeah, it says a traitor or untrustworthy person, disease. Maybe this week, some of us are dealing with colds, or maybe the bad news that's in the crow is we get a diagnosis. Not something that's going to kill us necessarily, but something that could cause change, something that could cause our emotions to come, go out of whack. Or maybe you get news that you don't have disease, but now you're like, oh my God, maybe this is in my head. Maybe my emotions are throwing me all over the place. And here I am thinking I'm sick when in actuality, I'm just depressed. Maybe the traitor is your own self, at your own self, if that makes any sense, right? Sometimes the traitor is not so much on the outside, it's all from the inside. Sometimes we are our own biggest enemy, and you don't want to be that. And you also don't want to be having emotions that are dictating your life and it's almost being destructive and causing criminal activity and transgressions against other people. So that's what we need to confront this week. And that does seem heavy, but it's not insurmountable, right? Nothing's insurmountable. Nothing comes in our existence that will wipe us away forever. Yeah, we may die, but I believe that, we continue on, I don't know. That's how I feel. But how we confront, this deck doesn't really call for reverse, but if it did, it would be an emphasis on this card, I believe, or the emphasis on the energies. And the card that comes up is fire, which is cool, right? Got to have that fire, that passion to be passionate about your life enough to say, you know what, whether I have disease or not, I'm okay. Whether I have money in the bank or not, I'm okay. Whenever I get good news or bad news, it's all good, right? I am strong and I am standing in my power. My emotions, yes, I will experience them, but I run the show. I am the Oz in this situation. The fire, the passion. What are you passionate about this week, huh? What is stirring your soul? What is burning up that needs to burn up something? But don't let it burn up everything, but just get that fire underneath you. I'm going to soon have to turn on the light. It's starting to get dark. That's number 17. Passion, creativity, consuming emotions, utter destruction. So again, don't let that come over and take over your whole situation, your whole life. But channel that anger, channel that passion into something constructive. Whatever that may be for you. All right, we're still looking at how to confront. Skull. Well, let's look at this. That's number 13. Death, thoughts of feelings of mortality, change, end of a cycle. Which is why I'm wondering if like the traitor energies is more about us and us, or me and me, or you, than it is about outside traitors. Although for some individuals who are watching this video, it very well could be. And okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna just roll right on over here and turn on some light because I gotta be able to see. Okay. All right. Okay, so skull. Now, as we all know, the skull, sure, it could mean death. But is it a literal death? Maybe the bad news is about a literal death to someone close to us. Or maybe it's not. Maybe next week is about the dying of, because this line here is how can we confront these issues? Well, maybe it's time to have the end of a cycle of negative thought patterns, in the cycle of a lack and scarcity mentality, in the cycle of disparaging thoughts about ourselves or others, and starting to live from our power, from our creative power, living from that end versus constantly thinking about what's going wrong in our life and what can go wrong, but thinking about what's going right and how can I have more of what's going right in my life. The end of the cycle next week is what's important. Well, what will make all the emotional stuff, the balancing that you're going through meditation, through journaling or what have you, make that all the worthwhile to get to the knowing that your thoughts become things. Your emotions drive your thoughts. And you start to realize, okay, let me start doing pleasurable things in the cycle of the negative thought patterns and move into a new cycle. Okay, dagger. Deceit, betrayal, hidden aggressions. Or how do we confront? Well, we may have to get a little, indignant or more emboldened, and we may appear as aggressive to others, but when it comes to defending your position in life, sometimes it may come across as aggressive to others, but look, everybody's entitled to live their best life yet. And if you feel like someone's being aggressive towards you, you need to call it like you see it. We're all adults here. And if you're feeling like someone is taking away your power, it's time to reclaim your power back. Or reclaim the power back within yourself if it's a you and you situation. You are in control of your thoughts. Stop allowing these thoughts to sabotage all that you're trying to do. Or, allowing the sabotage to manifest into procrastination, to manifest into not getting anything done, right? I'm speaking also to myself. I'm not just speaking to you and everyone out there, but this message is for all of us. Don't be aggressive against your dreams. Embrace them. Embolden them. Spend a little time with them. The universe is only asking you to spend, 15, 20 minutes a day towards your dream? Is that a lot when it's giving you pleasure? No, that's not a lot. Actually, it's quite necessary. Sorry, it is. And I'm saying that to myself too. And the outcome, if we do that, the tree. Oh, look at that pretty fall autumn tree in the northern hemisphere. We're having autumn right now in Sacramento, California. All the trees are different colors and it's just so beautiful. I'm loving it. Tree. Number 31. Strong growth as a result of our not hard work, but our work that we're going to be doing this week. Strong growth, seasons of life, stability, reaching new heights. Yes, reaching new heights. Taking it to the next level of living, right? You don't like your job. You don't like your job situation. Well, what are you doing about it? Stop staying in the negative pattern. I don't like my job. I don't like working here. Do something about it and get out of the negative and start focusing on what do you like about your company. You're working there now. You can say positive things while you look for a new job, right? And who knows? Maybe while you're looking for a new job, your current employer, your boss recognizes the changes in you and says, you know what, actually, I know a department you're perfect for. Why don't you go over here? Instead of always thinking in the negative pattern, oh, another Saturday night and I'm here by myself at home. No, for me, with kids and a husband and, all of that, sometimes it would be nice just to have some moments alone. So relish in the blessing that is, because trust, once you get your love life going up and after you let go of the negative thought patterns about the situation, you're going to be like, man, I miss those single days. Trust, new growth in your life. Probably new opportunities coming your way because you're letting go of that. Oh, this is so powerful. Okay. Oh, 37 pentagram. Okay. 37 swords. Pentagram. Sorry, guys. One of my kids, who's 15, has two friends over. They're all trying to go to the mall. They had to ask me if it was okay. So now I'm back. So we had left off on the pentagram. And I apologize. You may hear them as they're getting ready to leave the house. So my apologies in advance if you hear them. Pentagram. And I believe this was 37 and it mentioned something about humanity. So again, to remind us, this is the outcome cards of if once we do the work in the beginning rows, this is the outcome. And so 37 indicates more humanity comes into our existence and into our lives. The sum of a lifetime of choices, material gain, right? So when we work on those emotional disturbances or the self-sabotaging self-thoughts or words that we say to ourselves and others, what's cool is we can become more abundant, right? We can have more things that come in our life when we're able to thank the universe for what we do have and get into a space of receiving what's trying to come to us that we're trying to creating. But we have to spend some time in the creativity mode, whether you're spending a few moments a day writing out your goals, spending time working on your goals, and also working on your thought processes and meditating and whatever mindness techniques that you're able to get to do. Those things do have power and they do have results that can actually manifest for you, for me. And the humanity aspect of it, right? Having a little self-compassion for ourselves and others. Also becoming a more humane society on the macro level. You know, I love to talk about things both on the micro and the macro level. So I think this is very powerful. We will have, we'll have growth and we'll have abundance. That's pretty cool. Nice. And maybe this will mean that next week we'll have these realizations, but we'll actually have a real pentagram or pentacle kind of moment where we are coming into manifesting some abundance in our life. Maybe a promotion, a raise, maybe a windfall of money. I don't know. Maybe someone being compelled to give you money towards a project. That could happen next week. But that's because you're not in such an emotionally unbalanced place where you're almost pushing it away. It is the smooth sea waters that allow us to go with the flow. But it's the stormy waters that, yes, it's necessary to have storms, but let's face it, when we're having storms, just like in a tornado, and it's twirling around, it's pushing everything around it away. All our blessings and everything that we're trying to have away. until the water simmers down, until we can go with the flow again. That's just the way it is. That's not to say that it's bad to have storms in life, but the reality is it's going to push some people and things away. So just think about that going forward. And then the stick, number 25. And that says, branching out on your own may be a representation of power or abuse. But I like the branching out on your own, following your own path, going, in the direction that you need to. Stick, it says branching out on your own. And that's an amazing thing to happen as an outcome from all of this, where you have the confidence, the ability to do that, the wanting to do that. Sometimes when we're starting out on our journey, we really want company, but as we move forward down the journey of whatever we're, creatively working on, sometimes, you're going to be doing that by yourself, branching out on your own, breaking away from a situation, putting in your notice at your job, maybe finally opening up that business, manifesting more abundance for yourself, more time for yourself. So that's a powerful thing to come up. And the stick, where it's like stability now. I'm branching out, but I'm reaching out my hand to Spirit, and Spirit's taking my hand, and we're doing this manifestation together. So that's really beautiful, I think. I really do think that's quite beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. And in the spirit of abundance, let's ask for a card pertaining to abundance, partnership. Let's see. It says, allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You're receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. And that is partnership. And if we go a little bit more in depth here, partnership. Okay. This card speaks to the influences of other people in your life, such as a romantic or marital partner or work associate. Trust the first thought or feeling that you have about the word partnership, as your higher self already knows the truth about these influencing energies. If you feel that certain people are adversely affecting you, this card signals the need to take a relationship inventory to bring positive energy to the relationships or to decrease your involvement with them. Studies are showing that a person's income is proportionate to that of the people he or she spends time with. If you hang out, one moment, guys, sorry, I had to shush them. I can't wait till they go to the mall. All right, so anyways, let's see. If you hang out with those who complain, this will bring you down. If you spend time with those who are working to improve their lives in this world, you'll feel inspired. This card also signals a business partnership. And again, trust your first thought or feeling for inner guidance. Many successful businesses are formed from partnerships, so you may be guided to network with others or to join a networking group to meet potential partners. God is guiding you to the right people to support the fruition of your divine life purpose. And I think that speaks to the first thing that we were discussing in terms of what we need to confront is sometimes our perceptions of other people. Are we feeling like others don't have our best interests at heart? One of the first things that I learned when I started on the path of spirituality is that you can't always just assume the negative and assume that people are against you, because that's in turn what you're going to receive. And so, sorry, I'm just waving by. Bye, guys. See, I can sign out. There's still people in this house, believe it or not, even more so. But at least the noisy ones are gone for a little while. Um, okay, so anyways, so again, it's dealing with that internal struggle of thinking, oh, my boss hates me, when in actuality, that may not be the case, or it may become the case if you continue to think that way. So be in partnership with spirit, be in partnership with everyone that you come in contact with. Assume that they're here in your presence for your highest good, and you are in their life for their highest good, right? That's beautiful to do in every relationship. That will have profound impact on your abundance, on your life. And that's the real of it. Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. All right, and I wanted to definitely do a card from the Heal Yourself reading cards. Oh, one moment. Guys, I spoke too soon. There were other noisy people in the house, just like I thought. Look what I manifested. So I had to pause so you guys didn't hear me yelling upstairs to be quiet. Okay, so we're now just asking for a Heal Yourself reading card. A message that will allow us to really live our best life yet. Okay, here it says, hole in the soul. Again, that wound itself that keeps speaking and keeps haunting us. Look how that skeleton is haunting her. She's even bloody by it. I mean, she's still wounded by it over and over again, this hole in her soul. Let's read that. All right, so that's 36. And just so you guys know, I try to use jumping cards most of the time, which thank you for having patience and continue to watch my reading. Sometimes the jumping cards come quickly and sometimes they don't. Hole in the soul. Your childhood wounds are creating a hole in your soul. One way your childhood wounds disrupt an extraordinary life is through low-grade depression experienced as a perpetual empty feeling. If as a child you tried to make everything all right by picking up the pieces of your family dramas, then you adopted a false self. When you lose your authentic self, you disconnect from your true feelings, needs, and desires. Instead, you wear a mask to make others feel more comfortable. Oh, can I relate to that? Being detached leads to profound loneliness and isolation as you are always mourning your true self. Oh, this card encourages you to discover your true self through learning about your childhood and mourning the abandonment and neglect you felt. And then she provides an action message. Find a safe place. Use colored pencils to draw several masks. Each mask needs to represent an aspect of your false self as a good girl, boy, savior, slave, rebel, victim, overachiever, etc. Take time to write or draw the qualities you feel each false self contains. Turn on some powerful music, put on a mask, and move in a way you feel the mask requires for you to express yourself and feel the feelings you may have suppressed. Once you have completed the dance, take off the physical mask and burn it. Then imagine energetically taking off the false mask you wear in front of various people. Give yourself permission to be your real self. Imagine a person in front of you who you feel doesn't accept you. Say, I am going to betray you now and recover my true self. Now imagine this person saying to you, I understand you and encourage you to become the person you were meant to be. Isn't that beautiful? And just tying nicely with the overall message of the work that we'll be working on this week, right? Wow. Hole in the soul. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not going to do a tarot reading, but I will, let's see. Actually, not really. I wanted, in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to just do one quick card from this deck, but I also want to do a white rabbit oracle, but we'll see for time's sake how we're doing. Okay. Finally, Spirit, give us a card that represents what we need to focus on in relation to this reading this week. What do we need to focus on and work on? What is this shadow aspect for this week. And a jumping card would be awesome. Let me thank you. Even if it's no jumping card. Confusion. See how it's kind of foggy and you're not sure where to go? The confusion of it all. What do I work on next? Why is this not working out? Why is the situation the way it is? What do I do next? Confusion. But when you get back down to centering yourself, getting back to listening to your inner voice again and your intuition, the confusion, even if you have to navigate through fog, soon you won't mind navigating through the fog or the confusion of it all because you can count on your guidance system. Yeah, we have confusion. So just remember that in these confusing times that you don't have to be thrown emotionally when that happens. You can go back to centering yourself to rely on how you next move forward, you know? So remember that. Remember that whenever you're feeling overwhelmed by confusion. There will always be times of confusion, but what will sustain us and keep us moving forward is to recognize that for what it is, and then to ground ourselves, center ourselves, and ask, what should we do next? And then listen for the answers that may come immediately or may come in the near future. And even in the most foggiest of conditions, people have navigated through it and got to the other side of the fog bank, right? The other side of the confusion bank. So I think that's it, guys. That is our first weekly reading. I'm not going to do the White Rabbit Oracle this week. Maybe that'll make an appearance in next week's or the week after reading. But I just want to thank you all for participating with me. Stay tuned for the reading for Barbara for the free reading that will follow this particular reading. So again, thank you so much for watching. Many blessings to you. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Take care.